everybody, welcome to Visiting Time, Prime Time. I'm called Ben Lawrence. Thank you very much for joining me today. Sitting around the table, of course, you need introductions? Of course you do. First of all, welcome British Counties Champion Chris Murphy to the table. Also, the 24/7 Hardcore Champion, Brother Shades. Also we have the Lord of the Underworld, Lord of Vengeance, Hades back on return. And of course the International Man of Mystery, Mr. Orange. Welcome guys, we've got a lot to get through and we've got to get through it quite quickly tonight. It all leads up to this coming Saturday, of course, as we know, Rumble in the Jungle, Merton Hall, South Wimbledon, bcw.co.uk. You can buy tickets still online there up until Friday, so people still can purchase tickets on for that one. But let's go back a few weeks. Let's go back to Civil War. What happened at Civil War? A lot to talk about, a lot to get through. A very happy man here, obviously. As I did predict, Coalition were triumphant at Civil War. They beat BCW's 5 and had the right to stake their claim in BCW on what they wanted, what they felt was right.
It's about time.
It's about time, he says.
And what are you whispering about?
None of your business.
I liked it better when you didn't talk.
Well, let's talk about Civil War. Obviously the 5-on-5 match that happened, I knew it was going to happen. I think a lot of people predicted it could happen, just didn't want it to happen, and
you can't delay the inevitable.
Well, that's right, you can't delay what's going to happen. I mean, I knew the 5 guys on the Coalition side, the 5 guys on the BCW side were dysfunctional. It was not going to be a settled story there for them. But we did have a return, and obviously, we don't know if he's still running scared, but we've been in the same approach for you at all. Aries, we haven't seen him since your return, Hades.
Yeah.
No, we haven't. I don't understand him. He's just like...
Coward!
Sorry. That's fine. He kept bragging about, obviously, like, he led, obviously, the GBG, and, like, he obviously doesn't need me, and how dominant he is. I took him out with one punch, and then he ran scared. Back to Tycoon in his good little arms.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you say so.
That's what I saw.
That's what it looked like, what we saw as well. But, of course, leader of the Coalition, obviously you will back Aries up on this one, and probably saving it for another day, so to speak.
Didn't you lose to Joe Lightning?
Yeah, due to you distracting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I had him ready and you just had
No, that's what I saw.
But other than the return, obviously, to Hades, we did also see a week later a very deceitful thing happen as well on Visiting Time. We had the cash-in for Cade Dreyer after the BCW Championship match between Alexander Roth and Aidan Gallagher. A cash-in by Cade Dreyer, which happened to be a failed cash-in. And
not everyone's so lucky.
No.
Yeah, I mean, as you would know, obviously yourself, I mean, if you make a deal with the devil, that's your choice. I mean, Gary Stevens made the deal with him, and seem to be in league with each other there, and
I think Cade made the right choice.
You sold out Cade.
Back it.
Really?
No Cade.
Say what you like, I definitely think he made the right choice.
Feels the right choice was made, obviously.
If it weren't for Leo Shadows, look at him, he's the 5-star division champion.
That's right, yes, it's Leo Shadows, 5-star
division. Forget, he's also a Coalition member.
Yes, also a Coalition member, so it does work in favour for some, but not for everybody. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes for things coming. But then, of course, if you saw me, I have to take things into my own hands here. I had to speak to higher management and try and get things sorted out because I was totally distraught what was going on. We have a new Director of Operations in Jimmy Stone. Welcome, Jimmy, of course, to BCW again. welcome back. And I don't seem like he has a fair talk to you guys at the moment, from what I've seen recently.
Just barges in out of nowhere and starts making rules, and it's just...
Yeah.
So, Mr. Orange?
I think he's doing a marvellous job. Marvellous great job.
I mean, you saw the matches that he made recently. Coalition versus Coalition. 3-on-3 match.
Genius.
You know, also Gary Stevens versus Alexander Roth, where
Even more genius.
where it was of last man standing, lumberjack match with a special guest referee. That was Jimmy Stone himself as the referee. I mean, that was a whole stack against a guy who's not really a wrestler on roster.
He's not.
Well, he won the hardcore belts, so he's...
But that was his
Nice.
place. He won the hardcore belt, you're right. So therefore Jimmy Stone said, well, if you wanted to parade as the hardcore champion, that puts yourself in line to be a wrestler. So therefore, fair's to be fair.
That's fair.
That's what actually happened.
Exactly.
If you say so, but let's face facts, I mean, come on. This guy hardly wrestles, and then he's put up against Alexander Roth.
Undefeated, 28-0, Alexander Roth.
Yeah, him. That streak's gonna break though, so I'm not too worried.
No, anytime soon.
Don't listen to him.
He's too good.
Will you,
Can't beat him.
if you can,
Whoa. We're stating here, you are the British Counties champion, and you're stating Alexander Roth cannot be beaten. So in a situation of state of affairs, you hold the secondary title
that's
to Alexander Roth. You're stating that you couldn't beat him, or are you stating that no one else can beat him?
Well, I've faced him in Portugal in the tag match, but he is unbelievable what he can do in the ring. So,
Interesting.
I don't know what would happen in a 1-1 match, but I think if it had to come down to it, I really don't know.
You really don't know.
well, we already know.
That's not much of an answer.
Well, we already know what happens when you get into a match with me. Lest we forget you haven't beaten me yet.
If you remember that, I was close to beating you, but then Ray J came in.
Close, but no cigar. Close, don't cut.
And the second time, I just had a match at Hollywood. So, you got the advantage
That's
there.
your excuse. Really? You know, you give Alexander Roth nothing but praise, and you're thinking, you know, he's undefeatable. Makes you think, doesn't it, that that's as good as it's ever going to get for you. Aww.
But like I said, I want to take on any challenges, so just come up to it.
Well, speaking of that, obviously, moving to this coming Saturday, Rumble in the Jungle. The big match, obviously, for a lot of people. One for yourself, facing two former champions of the British Counties. You're facing the longest reigning British Counties champion in Daniel Masters.
Yep.
Also, you're facing the man that you beat, Phil Powers. Going into that match, I mean, what are you thinking at the moment? I mean,
Well, Daniel Masters is someone who I respect. For what he's done for the British Counties, holding it for 193 days, that is unbelievable. Taking on every challenger, beating them. But Phil Powers is an absolute legend of his business. British wrestling, he's done it all, apart from one thing: beat me. He still hasn't beaten me, and Masters haven't faced him yet. So this will be a very interesting one on Saturday.
are you expecting Masters, obviously, who's very good technical, very good submission wrestler? Obviously, you will wear down yourself. I mean, but Phil Powers is a very hard-hitting wrestler. So I mean, you know, it's going to be very difficult, I feel, for you to come out on top with these two guys. You know, they're both different styles, and you know, I mean, the thing is, you could lose this by one beating the other and you not being involved. That, you know, the way a triple threat match works. I mean, you know, you could lose
The one thing I'm actually looking forward to, you say they have different styles, but there's one thing that you cannot deny. Their chops are brutal.
It's true.
And I can't wait to see you get chopped by both. I reckon a palm reader might be able to read their fortune on your chest. That's how lethal I believe it is.
Wow.
He was there from the
So,
coalition.
but all intents and purposes, I mean,
from Phil Powers and Daniel Masters, not him.
but all intents and purposes, Saturday is another day. Obviously, Chris Murphy, good luck
Thank you.
with the match. It's going to be very, very tough. I know it's going to be very difficult for you, but good luck. I mean, you aren't the British County Champion just by a luck chance. You actually beat Phil Powers for the belt, so it could happen again. So, you know, I wish you the best of luck on that one. Tag team titles will be on the line.
Ooh, yeah.
Now, Nature's Arse has put out a plea with, we don't want to face anybody in BSW, we don't think anybody's worthy to face in BSW.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't want to face oranges and lemons.
Ah. Well, I have to find Vegas first. He just
Well, that's it, they didn't want to face him, you know, but I think it's a question, they don't like the man with, who doesn't talk. I think that's what it is.
Ah, racist.
Well, but they have an opponent. Two guys, Gary and Steve Doherty, the Flying Scotsmen, are going to be their opponents. They have stepped up for the challenge and said yes, we will take them on. I mean, do you think that the Nature's Arse will probably bitten off a bit more they can chew on this one, with the fact of they're facing two guys they do not know?
Flying Scotsman, you say? If I remember correctly, I have actually seen them have a few. Well, I've seen a few of their matches. They are actually quite sneaky as well. I mean, if it's the ones I think you're talking about the twins, I believe. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they are definitely skilled. I remember watching a couple of their matches with different companies. Most notably one I used to train at, and well, that's pretty much. I mean, they're going up against Nature's Disasters, and they're definitely going to have their hands full against those two. I can tell you that.
Yeah, big.
Powerful as well.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you that.
I mean, but Hades, you've been involved in tag team action, going against a team that you haven't ever wrestled before, a team you know nothing about. Going in, if you was a tag team champion, would you think that would be a disadvantage, really?
Not really.
Would you look at it as overconfident?
No, I just see it as a challenge.
You would accept it.
I would have accepted it, yeah. If me and Eris, if he was still in common sense, we would have actually just taken them on. We weren't basically running highs, we'd say we're off for the challenge. If you can take us on, we'll fight back. We don't hold back anything.
Common sense, you say? Think you
I mean-
have common sense to lead you.
I mean, the situation there, I mean, Chris Murphy, if obviously you got your match this Saturday, we're not going to
Yeah.
tell him. If a wrestler out there, you made a big challenge to anybody to come and claim a match against you, and you hadn't had a chance to watch this person at all, do you think it's a hard match because you don't know the skills? I mean, you think they're going against former guys that have been around other places, worked hard, know the industry very well. Obviously, they are the BSW Tag Team Champions, but do you not feel that's a bit overconfident to just say no one in BSW is good enough to face us, so we'll go on to a bigger picture elsewhere now? I mean, do you not think that's a bad thing or?
Well, I think Nature's Disasters, their overconfidence is their weakness, really. Like, they lost to the Marleys, being too confident when Diablo's hands came out, got too cocky.
It's a time frame thing, isn't it? Because you're going to have, you know, they could obviously will, if they beat the Flying Scotsman, they will take on probably the Marleys again, Oranges and Melons again, you know, anybody do, you know. But then the situation of this, are they going to still proclaim to be we're the best? And that will have to be everybody's answer to that. I mean, it's going to be a tough one. We also heard from Kimmy Akis, 260 odd days as champion. Now, Mr. Murphy. She has issued a challenge to Yasmin once again for the match at Rumble in the Jungle. and she has stated to Yasmin, if you lose this match, you will never get a match for the Women's Championship again while she's champion. Do you think that's a right statement to make?
I personally think it's fair. There's only so many times you can go for a title. If you don't win it, chances are you just have to keep in. I mean, let's face it, what, like 5 times now that Yasmin has lost?
3, 4, yeah,
Three,
four times. I
At
think.
that point, you just throw in a towel and go somewhere else. I mean, Kimmy Kiss has been the longest reigning women's champion.
Longest reigning Women's Champion, also the longest reigning champion
Oh, there you
in
go.
BCW. No, so.
Props to her.
So that's a really good one for Kimmy to Kiss to talk about. So she's 260 days as champion. That's a long haul, you know, someone to hold that belt. She's done marvellous. She's took on all comers. And obviously Yasmin still has this, I want to beat her, which is fair enough, would anybody wants to try. But at the end of the day, would you feel that it's a right move? I think it's a solid move by Kimmy saying, look, you've had chances, how many more do you want? I've beaten you, I've beaten you, I've beaten you.
I mean, obviously the rules for the women's women's championship don't apply as much as this title.
No.
I mean, it's 24/7. Anyone knows the rules of that. But let's face facts. 5 times, 3, 4 times, whatever. The point is that you've only fought for that title so many times. You've really just got to let someone else get a try. And seeing as she is the seeing as Kimmy is the longest reigning champion and women's champion, I think we can all learn a thing from her.
There you go.
Personally.
Fair enough. Well, good luck to both girls for that one. Moving on, Hades match on Saturday. Yourself and Mr. Brent Icon is taking up with you.
So it's going to be, actually, it'll be the second time we're working with Brett Icon, actually. It's been a while since I've worked with him, the man. Originally, me and him were one of your first original members against the administration.
Do you feel that you trust Brent Icon still?
Yeah, I think I can trust him.
I mean-
We've both got the same agenda against our former tag team partners who basically backstabbed us. So we're basically getting
I
ourselves.
think they just got rid of Dead Weight, personally.
Yeah, joining the coalition, who basically, if I remember, you lost to Ray J. Johnson, and obviously Randall Axel seems to be like in and out of your life. He can't make up his mind whether
That's
he
the highway
likes you
man.
or hates you or what.
No, he's not the highway man, he's Randall Axel.
Ah, okay, sorry.
Honestly,
Getting a little confused.
I couldn't care less.
Enough, I don't
It's-
care what you think. So far, all I'd say is, me and Brett Icon are going to go out there and show that BCW can easily take out the coalition. Even if it's Aries, Cade, Gary Stevens, Nature's Disasters, we don't care. We can show who's the
Okay,
boss.
so a false
Top dog.
god and a backwards hillbilly versus 2 coalition
And
members.
you,
Okay,
if you're calling me a false god, your leader is also a false god.
if you
He's
say
right. He's probably
So
calling
get
him.
your facts right.
Yeah, I've said it more than one occasion.
You've called us false gods all our lives, and so far now you're working with one, and he's your boss.
Yeah.
So
If you want
shut
to
that
also-
mouth before you think.
so. If you want to remove your lips away from Jimmy's behind,
I don't bow down to
Oh.
anyone. I'm only here to basically clean up the trash.
why are you not throwing yourself out?
Right. Okay, moving on everybody. The big match. Last man standing. And I'll be very happy to announce, obviously, it will be for a new title, a world title. I have it here, and I will unveil it now.
That's what it looks like.
Show everybody. I will show you all now.
Ooh.
This will
Oh,
be
look.
the new title belt this Saturday, which Alexander Roth and King Hollywood, Shane Stevens, will go for. Obviously, it's amalgamating the BSW Championship with the World Championship with Mr. Hollywood to make this title belt. So whoever wins, good luck to both men. And I must admit, it's going to be one hell of a match between the two of them. If you've seen the promos, if you haven't, I suggest that people get to Mr. Hollywood's fan page, also to Alexander Ross' fan page, see these promos these guys have put on. They are really against each other in every sense of the word. I mean, it even went to the state affair where a belt was stolen by the tycoon on behalf of Mr. Hollywood at the time, and he took the belt to a bridge up in London
Yes.
and threw the belt from the bridge. And I have spoken to Alexander Roth, and he's basically said the belt's gone, it's down with the fishes, but who knows? I mean, we have to wait and see what happens with that. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen, new championship belt, which will be given to the winner this coming Saturday between Team Hollywood and Alexander Roth. I mean, guys, obviously Team Hollywood for yourself, I would have thought.
Indeed.
And other three guys are going to be Alexander Roth.
He's
That's
got
real,
my
huh?
full support. Rough.
Full support for Roth.
Full support. On him every single day.
It's-
All three stuff is all behind him. If he fails us in that night, he should be ashamed
No
of
doubt.
himself.
No doubt. Anyway.
Better get ready for this one.
I mean, the point of fact is, you know, I say both guys are putting a lot on the line here. I can say it's going to be one of them sort of drag out affairs between two guys that are really going to go head on. Everything's going to happen, and you've got to be there to watch it, because it's only going to happen once between these two guys. I can see it now, and I just feel that, wow, we didn't expect it to go this far with these two guys, but they took the ball and run, both of them. So, I mean, Alexander Roth, undefeated streak. You've got Team Hollywood, who has, you know, unbelievable victories over people, and also in a match that suits Mr. Hollywood as well. You've got a situation of, you know, that on the line, but you have to look at the situation. Last Man Standing is a match where he has won on more than one occasion, so it favours him, but then you could say that Alexander Roth was just in a Last Man Standing match just last week. You know, so he has sort of had a little bit of working out for that one. So yeah, he had a bit of, so you could work that one out for the two. But I feel personally it's going to be one of those sort of matches that no one wants to miss it. I think everybody involved in the BSW roster will want to see it. I think everybody involved in the BSW coalition will want to see it. I don't think anybody's going to want to be, you know, missing this match. It's going to be one hell of a match between two guys. I can see that happening. But in speaking about the other half of it all, is the 30-man rumble. Now, Mr. Orange,
Yo.
you were not seen at the draw.
No.
Is there a reason why you weren't at the draw?
Yeah, I was looking for Vegas. He has disappeared all of a sudden.
He's gone again.
Yes, I did notice a case of melons were missing from the cupboard, so he's gone on with one little spring.
Oh, dear.
Where are you?
So if anybody out there can see a guy who wears a white mask, he doesn't talk to you, he's very shy,
Only sometimes.
but he does drink gin. So you
Melon
might,
gin.
if you do see him around anywhere on the streets, please let us know straight away, because we are missing out Las Vegas somewhere. So please, you know,
We will give a reward.
yeah, there will be a reward. There you go, probably an orange or something. I don't know, but there will be a reward.
Or Satsuma.
There you go. But in speaking about that, obviously you weren't at the draw, so you will not be in
No.
the rumble.
No, I know. I understand.
But, and also speaking to obviously Direct Operations, we have news that Ray J Johnson will be out of the rumble
Oh.
due to injury. Is there something funny about that? Someone out due to injury?
Just a person in general.
The guy has a separated shoulder, he cannot wrestle at all. He's out of the rumble, so unfortunately Ray J Johnson, wish you best of luck. Hope you get well soon. So he will be out of the rumble, but there is a replacement already been put forward for the rumble, and Jimmy Stone said it's a very admirable placement to have. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But you guys around the table, obviously, Brother Shades, Hades, Chris Murphy, you are in the rumble. Unfortunately, Mr. Orange, you're not,
No.
unless you're the guy that Jimmy Stone has stated that, you know, we don't know. You could be the guy he might have stated that said you're in. You never know. But, I mean, I don't wish to know what numbers you guys have drew, but obviously, apart from yourselves, because I know that's going to be the obvious answer. Who's going to win the Rumble? Me, me, me. Apart from that, who else do you feel is going to be the biggest threat to you to win the Rumble, if there is one?
I've got to say, Daniel Masters. Even though I'm facing him, but he has that little extra something. I think he can take it all the way.
I mean, he got the most eliminations last year. 5 eliminations he took in the Rumble. I mean, if he gets a very late number, if he's in the like 25, 26, you know, it could benefit him that way. I mean, if he gets a very low number though, it's a long, long night for whoever it is, you know, and that's the way it's going to work. So you're saying Daniel Masters?
Yes.
Brother Shades, apart from yourself, obviously, if there's anybody else out there that you feel, I think they're the person that will go forward.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and go for Mr. Me Time himself, Kid Drea.
Kate Dreyer.
Yes.
Wow, not a very big guy in the Rumble, his sort of stature, but you feel he could be the surprise package for people, you know. I mean, you obviously see him now a lot more being involved in the coalition, but Kate Dreyer too, shake your head for.
The way he turns back on BCW was just wrong.
But he's with the coalition, and the coalition feel that he's a good asset to coalition, so that's why.
Still think. They deal with the devil, so only bad things can happen to him.
So you have Kate Dreyer, obviously apart from Brother Shades himself, obviously. Mr. Orange, being not really sort of on the side of the coalition, but
Yeah,
not really in the BCW sort of. You balance between the two. Who would you say is the person that you would look out for in the Rumble? The person that probably could go to that next step?
Mine would be Phil Powers.
Phil Powers?
Yeah, I think he can go the distance.
Wow, I mean that's a big, big shout. Phil Powers, obviously, you're taking on yourself earlier in the night, but wow, that's a big, big. That's a very interesting one. And finally, Hades. I mean, I know you're not going to say Aries. I know that one.
No,
So,
I already say that.
I mean, is it going to be you're going to out there waiting for Aries to come out? If you're out there before Aries, this is.
No, like I've told everyone before, my main objective is to make sure that no member of the coalition actually wins the Rumble. And if it comes down to me and BCW, I'm sorry guys, every man for himself. I honestly don't see anyone as a threat.
No one at all.
No one.
You're not going to say anybody at
I'm
all.
not, no.
There's 29 other people apart
No.
from yourself. Wow, that's a really strong position. So he's actually saying nobody else is going to be a threat to him. He's going to be the one, and there's no way out. No one's going to do it. But there you go. So you have that. It's going to be one of those sort of things, everybody, of course. Rumble in the Jungle, as he rightly said, every man for himself. It could be every woman for themselves as well. So don't forget, you do have Kimmy Kiss in it, and Yasmin will both be involved in the 30-person Rumble. So that's going to be very difficult. You know, they could be at different ends as well. One could be a number 3, one could be number 25. It's a you know, a very tight way of going around everybody. I mean, anybody you want to get rid of though? Is there anybody in that Rumble that you do when you walk in there and you'll think
Oh, Cyclone. Big person.
you would
Get rid of the big guy.
get rid of the big guy, Cyclone? He's the one you really want to get rid of. If you was in Rumble, you'd be Cyclone straight away.
Well, who else is in the Rumble? Have we got any winners in the Rumble? Right. Okay. Aries has won the Rumble once, so I guess he's a threat as well.
That's because of the guild was actually helping him at that point as well.
He's still technically, alright, fair enough, but he's still won, and now he's got an army behind him, so watch out.
That's right. He does have an army behind him now, so they can
We have
all help him.
LCW. If we actually work together, we actually can make sure even he couldn't defeat them.
Good.
But are you pinpointing the bullseye on anybody straight away? Is there anybody out in that Rumble you personally think I'm going for that person to
Be
make
honest.
sure they get out? I mean, I know you would say you said Daniel Masters, but is he the person you would want to eliminate as well? Because you think he's the biggest threat to you.
The main person I want to get out straight away is K-Dreyer. He's sneaky. Especially Gareth Stevens on his side, he will be sneaky. They'll be working together to get him to win. I just want to get him out so then run out and be calm.
And yourself, Brother Shades, anybody out there that you really want to make sure you get your hands on in this Rumble?
Well, my first choice is injured. So I guess I'll have to go for the second best. Speaking of second best, why not you?
Oh.
Just ignore us.
And obviously you're just going to go for anybody's coalition.
I'm just going in on coalition.
Wow. So there you go. I mean, it's amazing no one said Luther Reinhardt, last year's winner of the Rumble in the Jungle. Very, very crafty character, Luther Reinhardt. You know, and I feel that, I mean, you know, he's one of the sort of guys where people do not underestimate at the time, and he holds onto that bottom rope a lot.
Just put a flag in the ring.
I can tell it's like, I mean, I used to work with the guy from the U.
Yeah, so I mean, you know what it's like firsthand. It's one of the sort of things where obviously you've had previous winners. Obviously you've had Aries, you've had obviously Luther Reinhardt winning it. We also had James Earl as a winner, obviously. Yeah, so it's one of the sort of things where you feel, you know, what is the best plan of action? What would you guys have going into this? I mean, do you think it's one of the later numbers is the better option, or do you feel that it's easier to be in it for a bit of time, give yourself a bit of time into it? Because some people,
Later.
you would go with later, a late number. You would, if you could have a late number, would 30 be the best number?
Yeah, definitely. Well, 30, 27.
27 to 30, that little
Yes.
span is the best number. Wow, that's an interesting
Yeah.
theory there, you know.
So your number 30, everyone's just going to aim for you, aren't they?
Well, there you go, everybody. Don't forget, it's going to be happening at Merton Hall, South Wimbledon, this coming Saturday, the 21st of November. Tickets are still available online at beachw.co.uk, as I did mention at the beginning of the show. And who's going to win the Rumble? You predict who you think we're going to win the Rumble. There is going to be a prediction poll going up very, very soon from what we believe on who people predict will win the Rumble. Some people are pointing to themselves already, very confident people. But who do you think? Also, the last man standing match. Who will be crowned the first ever BHW World Champion? I mean, we've not had a World Champion in BHW ever before. We've only had a company champion, a World Champion now. Who is going to be that World Champion? Is it going to be the Wolf of Broad Street, Alexander Roth? Or is it going to be King Hollywood, Shane Stevens? I mean, that is a big, big call to make. You know, it all happens this coming Saturday. I can't wait for it to happen. I know these guys can't wait for it. It's time to rumble, as they say. Let's get on with it. And good night from me. Good night from these four guys. Take care.
Look my ticket now.